Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me. I am early. I am doing my April wrap-up video. It is only the 22nd of April. However, fingers crossed, I should start my new job this week. Fingers crossed for that. So it's a completely new sector from what I've been doing. So I'm not anticipating going to be able to either get to the make a video or have the energy until I can get into a routine, but we'll see. So I'm going to start. So I started in March, end of March, beginning of April with Stephen King's It, and I got over halfway and I haven't carried on. I probably will carry on because I was enjoying it and I wasn't enjoying it. I love Stephen King. Out of all the novels I have, I think, Stephen King's probably the second author. The third author I have the most books of, so Christopher Pike, Agatha Christie, and then Stephen King, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, let's not worry about that now. So I do love Stephen King. I think he's a wonderful storyteller, and I love nearly everything I read of his, but not all the time. And It, unfortunately, I just haven't been able to finish. So DNFing, yes, but for now. It's still upstairs on my nightstand, so I'm not discounting that at all. So after I'd finished reading that, I needed something light because it was so dark. And I picked up One Wish by Michelle Harrison. And this was amazing. I picked it up purely on the cover and the fact that it mentioned wishes and fairies. I was like, yes. So in the book, we follow Tanya, and she can see fairies, and she goes on holiday with her mum, and she comes across a wishing tree, and she also meets a young boy, and the young boy is special as well, and she goes on an adventure. I'm going to leave it at that. It's cheeky, it's cute, it's quite dark, and I believe it's a prequel to the 13 Treasures. The 13 Treasures series that Michelle has written, which as soon as I start earning money, I will put on my list to buy, because I am not the intended audience for this book at all, but I loved it, and I know I'm not alone, because I now follow Michelle on Instagram, and I think she had a woman that was in her 70s that ended up reading it, and she loved it too. It's whimsical. I love books about friendship. And yeah, this was definitely a winner. I don't know if I would, I don't think I starred it, but definitely like 3.5, 4. Let's give it 4 stars because Michelle's awesome. So I really enjoyed that. And after that, I haven't got the book here. I put it in the car ready to be donated to the charity shop. Was Geek Girl. I think I'm getting the order right. Geek Girl, and I didn't like Geek Girl. I finished it, but it definitely wasn't for me. Sweet, and I like the author a lot, but I just didn't really get on with the book, unfortunately. I finished it, but I just didn't like it. So the next book, now I'm going to tread carefully, it was Paper Towns by John Green. I love John Green and Hank Green. John Green's YouTube videos are infamous and wonderful, and John is an amazing person. I just didn't really like Paper Towns. Again, I don't know whether or not I'm the intended audience, but I had elements that I really liked and elements that I just didn't care for, to be honest. The language really threw me, and I was like, I've never been a teenage boy, so I was like, is this how they talk to each other? But evidently they do. John Green has been a teenage boy. So in it we follow Quentin Jacobson, and he has always loved Margot from afar, and then one day she goes missing, and he just drops everything to go and find her because he's always loved her from afar. A young boy may do that, or a young woman might do that. I don't know. Not for me, unfortunately. So that's going to get donated to the charity shop. However, I do have Looking for Alaska over on my TBR, which I'm really excited to read. And I do have Turtles All the Way Down written down in my book of books that I would like to buy. So not giving up on John. It just wasn't for me, unfortunately, but I'm going to donate it to the charity shop and somebody will love it. The next book, I had a little kind of theme going on here. was Midnight Sun by Trish Cook. And this is about Katie, and she can't leave her house during the day because she's allergic to sunlight and what it will do to her. I was quite surprised actually, because it's a relatively short book, 258 pages. So I did think to myself, how is this story going to unfold in such a short amount of time? Because the back does say, a heartbreaking tale of love, loss, and one nearly perfect summer. So I was already kind of like, I really wish they wouldn't put stuff like that on the back sometimes, because when I read that, I was like, oh, so there's probably not going to be a happy ending. I hope that's not a spoiler. I may mention that, sorry. But I enjoyed it. I finished it. I do not know anything about what Katie suffers from, but I've jumped, haven't I? Must get some editing software. But Katie falls in love with a boy. She's loved him from afar. And one night they meet, and then she has a one nearly perfect summer. But I don't know enough about what Katie suffers from. I know it's a real disease, and I don't doubt that Trish knows about it. She's done her research. She may even have someone that she knows that suffers from it. But there was a bit in the book that happened that was then like the catalyst for other things, and I just didn't understand the seriousness of it. That makes me sound like a bad person, but I don't mean it like that. I don't think enough of it was explained, or maybe I read it too fast. Either way, I really liked this book. I am still going to donate it to the charity shop because I'm definitely not going to read it again. So I'm starting to think maybe young adult books about romance aren't really for me, but that's fine. That's fine. Following on from that, I read A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm ignorant. I don't know how to pronounce your name. This book is amazing. Definitely has catapulted itself into my top 5 books. It actually pushed out Stephen King, I'm pretty sure. So sorry about that, Mr. King. This book follows 4 friends, JB, Willem, Malcolm, and Jude, as they go through college and they go through life. It's about friendship, it's about love, it's about loss, it's about devastation, it's about the past and pain of a past. I was left sobbing at points, like proper like silent sobbing, tears going, and at one point I had the sob in my throat. I did put on my Instagram how I felt about this. I even filmed a video straight after, but there was no way I was going to put that on the next. I was literally close to bawling my eyes out then. I've never read anything like it. It blew me away, and considering how big it was, once I got going, I just couldn't stop. I had to know everything, and it was just so stunning. Literally, it was stunning, and it took my breath away. So I was so pleased with this. It is dark. It covers some very dark things, and just so you know. But it's all done. It's all written so well and brilliant. And the author has created such a fluid story. There is some bits in it I didn't understand. She has spoken to a lot of architects. There was some architect talk. There was some artist talk, and I just didn't overly follow that. But for the most part, I was there the whole time. I was the 5th friend. So 100% recommend this book to anyone. 5 stars, 100 stars, 1,000 stars. Really good. And then after that, now take a breath. I don't know if it's because I've just come off of that book, but I wanted to have something a little bit lighter, which it turns out is not lighter anyway, but they're done in completely different ways. So I picked up One of Us is Lying, and this follows Bronwyn, Cooper, Nate, Addie, and Simon. 5 of them go into detention, only 4 of them come out, and 4 of them are being accused of murdering one of the other students. I didn't like it. I got halfway through it, put it down, and Googled the end. don't hate me, but I just didn't like it, unfortunately. But then again, it's hard to know whether I didn't like it because I was coming off of such an emotional roller coaster, or it just wasn't for me. Because somebody I follow on Instagram, can't remember who it is now, really nice lady, she loved it. She really loved the book, and I know a lot of people really love the books. I read some reviews, just missed the mark for me, unfortunately, which is going to happen because if we all had the same taste in books, I wouldn't be able to find the books I wanted because you would have all bought them already. So, but yeah, so not for me. It will go back to the charity shop. But we live and learn. We live and learn. So that's all I've read. And I've just picked up this evening The Nowhere Girls. So I'm hoping that I'll have this finished by the end of April. So I'm just going to mention that I'm reading it now. I'm really excited. Believe it or not, I was actually going to pick up The Fifth Wave next, but then I saw this and I remembered what it was about, and I was like, actually, I could do with that. So that's next, and I'll probably have that read by the end of April, depending on how the new work goes. Anyway, thank you for listening to me babble on. It was an interesting reading month. Really was. It really helped me open my eyes to what I do like reading and what I don't like reading, and that I absolutely get suckered in when I see someone so enthusiastic about a book. I'm like, oh my god, I want to read that, and I do. But there you go. Like I said, can't all like the same things. Shame, really. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I'm sure I'll be back real soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.